My husband says he doesn't know if he can wait the 6-week break period after having a baby. So my husband 27 and I 25 have been together for 4 years, married for 2. Throughout those 4 years our sex is pretty much daily, either hour-long sessions or a quick 5-minute session. I'm now pregnant 5 months and things have slowed down to every other day. My hormones are crazy right now but I get the worst back pain after sex so I get to space it out. My husband has a very high libido so whenever we don't have sex, he masturbates. Well, last night he sat me down and said that he doesn't know if he can wait the 6-week period after giving birth. He reminded me of the week-long trip I took to my parents' house without him 2 years ago and how he made his dick bleed from masturbating so much since we weren't together. That was the longest time we've been apart. He asked for head every day during the 6-week break. Then he asked if I would consider a C-section so we couldn't have to take a break. I was like, no. With a baby, especially the first month or so, me giving you head will be a weekly occurrence. And I'm not getting a C-section unless it's an emergency. He got upset and said that I've kept up with his sex drive for years and now I'm leaving him in the dust. And that his brothers told him that this would happen after I got pregnant and married. I don't understand. After the 6-week period I'll probably be horny as hell and want to fuck like rabbits. It's not like I'm icing him out forever, but obviously with a new lifestyle change our sex life will be less frequent. I told him that even after the 6-week period, with a baby and working from home we will probably only be intimate 2 or 3 times a week or maybe go a week without sex. This upset him further and we haven't really talked unless it's about the baby since. I'm too embarrassed to ask my IRL friends for advice, that's why I'm on here. Edit. To all the comments about the C-section, like I stated I'm not getting one unless it's an emergency. That's completely out of the question and just his dumb suggestion to shorten the window of time. Don't think I would actually go through with it. I did learn that it would have been the same amount of time either way. I didn't know that before, so you learn something new every day. Masturbating until your dick bleeds is not normal. This sounds like a sex addiction, not a high libido. The fact that he's mad about it is also a sign of addiction, or just selfishness. He needs to tell his doctor what's going on or get into counseling. Good luck. He needs therapy. His demands are not normal. If he does his part after the baby, his ass will also be too tired to do anything. Let him do late night and early morning bottle feedings. Seriously. Even if you do get a C-section, do not have sex for at least 6 weeks after. Not only is your lower abdomen stitched up, you still have an open wound inside that needs to heal. That's what the 6 weeks is for. The fact that he is focusing already on not being able to have sex for 6 weeks after the baby is born instead of thinking about supporting you and being a parent is a huge concern. Regardless of how you deliver your child, please don't let your husband pressure you into doing anything until you are physically ready. Does he just not understand that you are effectively giving up your body for 9 months plus recovery to have his and your baby? Beyond being much more financially draining, a C-section has its own risks and recovery time. If you can, I'd say take you both to marriage and relationship counseling, because if he's already acting like you're selfish and going to neglect him by being too tired and physically unable to safely have sex when you're 5 months pregnant, it is not going to get better unless he realizes that he's being incredible selfish and dense by complaining about getting a little less sex. Your husband is a POS. This sounds like a toxic relationship. Fucking every other day while pregnant because your man has a strong libido. Sounds more like a sex addiction. Dick bleeding sounds terrible. And the fact that he's putting his sexual needs over the health of you and the baby sounds fucking ridiculous. Stand up to this bullshit. Ask your friends IRL what they think. Don't be silent and key this guy, demand everything and give it to him. Very, very toxic. Your husband is an actual dickhead for putting you in a position like this and putting you and your unborn child at risk because he has a serious sex addiction. He needs therapy. This is not normal and completely unreasonable to expect your wife who is about to give birth to go through that. Recovery time from a C-section for moms is much harder than a vaginal birth. He needs to consider the pain and risk he's willing to put you through for his own sexual gratification. That concerns me. I would honestly consider leaving my husband if he thought it was okay to expect something like this from me. I really, truly hope you see this for what it is. I'm sorry. This isn't how a man who cares for you behaves. You are more than a human fleshlight and he doesn't need sex. He wants it. There's a huge difference. You need to heal after childbirth. He wants you to give him an orgasm. In a healthy relationship you put your partner's needs ahead of your wants. He's not doing this. He is essentially telling you that he utterly lacks self-control and self-discipline. This is disastrous news for your new family. Why did you have a baby with this man? He's not okay if he's fucking injuring himself via masturbation. Think about the safety of your future child with this crazy sex lunatic in your house. I mean, even if you have a C-section, it's still a 6-week wait. It's not because of tears, it's because your uterus is a literal open wound after the placenta comes out and any penetration can lead to infection. Not to mention your body is so sore after being cut open that it could be even a longer wait. It sounds like your husband could benefit from therapy. Hell, even couples therapy. Also, the last thing on his mind should be when he gets sex again. It should be navigating being a first-time parent. Also, you have to wait longer with a C-section. I had to wait 12 weeks with both of mine, C-sex. You get cut 4 times, dude, and large incisions. It's a major abdominal surgery with complications possible. I actually completely coded during my second one and needed revived to receive blood. I died, dude. Your husband is sick in the head. You get to space out sex now because it causes you pain? Why is it okay with him to do something that causes you pain? Why is it okay with you that he is okay with causing you pain? And it's somehow a privilege for you that he doesn't cause you pain daily? Counseling. Now. Seriously. ETA. Whether or not he will go, you go. Let him do all the nighttime feedings. That should nip the sex drive in the bud, so to speak, as he will be too tired. What the actual hell is wrong with that dude? Good lord, that is pathetic. Has he tried like a fleshlight? Or any male sex toys? Yay, he's not normal. And trust me, do not rush back into having sex till cleared by your doctor, especially if you tear or get an episiotomy. I thankfully didn't tear with my kids, just brush burns basically, minor abrasions, on my chart, but only waited 4 weeks after my oldest and cried for an hour because it hurt so bad. Waited the full 6 after my youngest and it still hurt, but nowhere near as bad as after my oldest. Plus, your vagina is literally an open wound after having a baby. The risk of infection is not worth hubby getting his fix. Send him to therapy, and if he refused, send him divorce papers. Go tell him to use his own hand or buy a toy. Your recuperation should be priority, seeing as you are pushing his kid out of your vagina. His sex drive can wait. And I'm sure with a C-section you still wouldn't be able to have sex immediately since it's a surgery. In my opinion, he needs help. You would still have to take a 6-week break after a C-section because it's allowing your uterus to heal from the wound that your placenta causes when it's removed. Sex will be one of the last things on your mind immediately after having a baby. Those 6 weeks also give you time to get adjusted. You're your new normal. I hope he has some mentors that he can speak with because he overall sounds like he has unhealthy behaviors. What a sociopath. Jesus Christ, he can't wait 6 fucking weeks? How pathetic. Your husband is an asshole with a sex addiction. Putting it out there, 6 weeks isn't for your vagina to heal. 6 weeks is for your uterus to heal. You wait 6 weeks after a C-section, too. Source: I had a C-section. Dude needs to see a sex addiction counselor. Maybe it's the post about the kid finding out he was the product of his dad raping his mom, but why do I wonder if Op's husband is a bit hard of hearing when it comes to the word no also? I am really in fucking awe at how horrible this situation is, but I just want to say that if you have a C-section you still have to wait to have sex. Not having sex after birth has way less to do with your vagina and way more to do with the giant open gaping and bleeding wound you have from an entire organ, the placenta, detaching itself from your uterus and leaving your body. You bleed afterward for the same reason, C-section or not. Women have literally died from having sex too soon after delivery because of air getting into the bloodstream or from infection. Seriously, have your husband look this up. I'm really praying this is fake. Does he want to be a single father? Does he want to kill you? Even after a C-section you need to heal. Sex introduces bacteria to your vagina and will introduce it to your uterus. That can kill you quickly. He needs to learn that you are not responsible for fulfilling his sex drive and you can say no at any time for any length of time for any reason. He needs to grow up. Making babies comes with responsibilities. One of those is letting the mother rest and recover after childbirth. Tell him to grow the fuck up. You're having a baby. If he thinks you're both going to be fucking every day, I have news for you. Being honest and looking at your replies to others, I feel you're enabling this behavior. Sure, you clearly enjoy sex and think this man is great, but you both do know how hard raising a child is, how demanding a baby is. I mean, it sounds like you already have one in the house. Congratulations. Good luck. What an asshole. I feel like you are going to have serious issues with him even after the 6-week period. Babies are exhausting and it's very normal for sexy time to take a hit as a result. If he's already having a tantrum now, he is going to be a total man-baby when you're covered in spit up and simply not in the mood. Good luck op, because his sex drive is not normal and it's going to be hell for you. So basically you'll have 2 children. The one you give birth to and the one you married. What exactly is he asking for? A hall pass? Tell him welcome to parenthood. This is what happens during the first few months. If he can't handle it like a grown-up, then he should get some therapy. He has a raging sex addiction. You left for a week and he made his dick bleed. He's asking you to have surgery so that he can use your vagina and is asking that you give him head every single day of your 6-week heal. What the fuck? You're going to be tired, sore, exhausted. You're going to be burnt out. Highly emotional. Perhaps experiencing the baby blues. And all he's thinking about is how often he can wave his dick in your face. As someone who had a baby 9 months ago, let me tell you this. First, you're not going to care about his sexual needs with a newborn. You have bigger things to worry about. Second, even if you had a C-section, there's still a 6 to 8 week waiting period. You've had major surgery. Everything has to heal and sometimes you have surgical site issues. My husband and I were all over each other as it was medically safe after my C-section, but those first 4 weeks, neither of us were even interested in sex because we were so exhausted. Buy the guy a fleshlight, some lube, and tell him to have fun. I don't know what I was expecting. But definitely not that. How he made his dick bleed from masturbating so much since we weren't together. Have you ever tried saying to him, dicks aren't supposed to bleed, to try to get him the help he clearly desperately needs? This is ridiculous. And frankly sounding dangerous for your physical and emotional health. How exactly is he going to be of any practical or emotional support to you and his child when he acts like this? I'd seriously be demanding he seek professional help. There's no good outcome to this otherwise. Obgyn here. Dear Lord. If you did get a CSXN, we still RECC, you don't have PIV intercourse because we just ripped a placenta from your insides. Your uterus needs to heal. Just having a C-section doesn't fix the problem. I'm sorry, but this is not just not normal. It is also unloving in every way. What about caring for you and your needs as you recover from not just having spent 9 months growing but then pushing out a baby? And a C-section? They would cutting into your muscles. The recovery from that is bad in a different way. He needs to grow the fuck up and realize a relationship isn't just about him having sex all he wants. Honestly, if he hurt himself masturbating so much, it sounds like there might be something wrong with him. Like, I know so many people with really high sex drives. They don't make their own genitalia bleed because they can't stop masturbating. I think he might have something pathological going on. Post your question to Ask Men and show him the horrified responses of other men. Wow. Just. Wow. He needs the kind of help we can't provide. That's not a high libido, he has an addiction, and he's officially willing to let it ruin his marriage if he's asking you to have surgery so he can get his dick wet. Show him this thread, or suggest couples counseling and Sex Addicts Anonymous. This is insane behavior from him. Jesus. I'm high libido and that's insane. Sounds like a sex addiction. Dude needs therapy or you need a divorce. You realize after giving birth your vagina will not be good for much, at least for a month? And in all probability there might also be a year down there. 6 weeks is bare minimum. Sometimes it can take longer. Your nipples will be cracked after constant breastfeeding. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to show you that only a very inconsiderate partner will demand what your husband demands at such a time. Take him to your next OB/GYN visit and let them give him a reality check. GYN are notoriously in the mother's corner and can effectively put the husband's expectations in check. Plus, listening from an outsider will help your husband understand how ludicrous he sounds. Just a quick one. Jesus fucking Christ, he wanked so much his cock bled. This is not normal. I mean, I have just had that much horn that I've chafed it a bit, but no, this is not even close to normal. Your hubby has a problem. This sounds extremely controlling and abnormal. I second everyone's comments regarding referring him to a counselor. His apparent addiction to sex and masturbation don't only affect him. It's really awful of him to try and pressure you when you've literally just had a child. This is his issue, not yours, and he needs to sort himself out. He asked for head every day during the 6-week break. Then he asked if I would consider a C-section so we couldn't have to take a break. He wants you to have a C-section so he can have use of your vagina? Does he realize that the period recovery is longer for a mom who had her abdomen cut open, her organs removed, and put back inside to get the child out, that you'll be at risk of having your stitches open? Yikes. I hope he isn't resentful of the baby. Waiting 6 weeks is significant other important after childbirth, and honestly sex will probably be painful and/or difficult for you long after the 6 weeks has passed. You and your vagina will not be back to normal after 6 weeks. You will have just pushed an entire human out of your body. Your husband needs to respect any boundaries you set. Don't forget that you get to set the rules about your body at any point in time, baby or no baby. Also agree with other commenters about your husband possibly having a sex addiction and needing to talk to a professional about it. Simply he values his pleasure over your pain. Cesarean is likely a much longer time and more complicated healing process. Some people need months to heal, and your physical healing and mental healing aren't the same. You still can't have sex after a C-section. He's asking you to risk infection and your life for sex. He needs to see a therapist, and you should too, for some extra support and someone to talk to who will be on your side. You may also consider a toy like a fleshlight for him. He can choose the kind he likes and replace the inside as needed.